I kind of called her up and I said, man, I've got this crazy idea. I said, let's just start a band. Sometime later, we wrote Love Don't Live Here. And that was when I was like, that's the sound. It just all started happening. We driving by these Antebellum homes. I was like, Antebellum, that's a cool name. Lady Antebellum.
You and Dave were in a band in middle school together? Or
I was in a band. We were in different bands.
Oh, okay.
So he was in a band, but also he played for like the Young Life, like the youth. I mean, he was
always a good guy.
He and Hillary have always been good. And listen, I was a good guy. I was always kind to everybody, but I definitely was a part of the group that we were the weekend partiers, And so I was in a band from when I was like 12 all through, high school, and played drums and sang and, just cover bands. So Dave and I, we're at Georgia, and he's living with one of my fraternity brothers, and we would always go over to there. And one time he's like was piddling on his guitar, and I was like, man. So my brother Josh Kelley, who he was
great singer as well, yeah.
And so this is right around the time Josh had like put the song Amazing up online. It gets all this traction. Next thing you know, he's got a record deal and it's becoming a hit. And the little part of me is like, damn, I'm jealous. Like I was the singer in our band. I didn't even know my brother could sing. And I was like, Dave, we should start writing some songs, because Josh is who I used to write some. We wrote some songs in our high school band and stuff. And Dave had the same thing where he could just follow. He knew structurally, chordally, like where songs should go and how to do it. And we wrote this horrible song at the time, but it was called Carpe Diems on Vacation. So like today, like I'm not going to seize the day today was our concept.
Kind of like that Bruno Mars song.
It was really bad. We were writing, and I was like, that was really easy. Like he's really good. So then next thing you know, we graduate college, business degree. He goes to Atlanta, has this like accounting job. I moved to Winston-Salem, and I work with my oldest brother. He's 10 years older than me. And we're like flipping houses and doing different things. And I was just miserable. And I was like, this sucks.
Meanwhile, Josh is making music.
And
that's easy. Right?
In the summer, he had a run of 4 dates with Dave Matthews. And I went, and he let me hop up and sing a song each night. And the reaction was mammoth for me,
That was it, right?
I was like, I'm doing this. And so I literally just packed up my stuff. I left. They joke, I left everything like in this little house I was living, like my clothes and everything. And I moved to Nashville, and then Josh goes on the road, and I'm like, I'm alone. I don't know anybody. And I'm just like kind of going out on my own at night and just kind of depressed. And I'm here for, a few months, and Josh kind of comes in and out, and we work a little bit on music, but I didn't know what to do because I didn't really play guitar or anything. I called up Dave and I said, hey man, have you ever thought about writing some, like making some songs? And he was like, I don't know. I'm here in Atlanta. And I said, dude, what if I come up on the weekends when you're not working and we just write some? So I would come up every weekend and drive from Nashville to Atlanta, and we start writing some really good songs. And I'm like, and he's kind of getting that itch too, where he's like, this is really good. 5 months into that process, I was like, dude, we got to do this, man. You got to move to Nashville. And knowing Dave, and how he is a realist.
It's level.
He's very level, and he's not a spontaneous. He is an analyzer. He doesn't make quick decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't know what got in him, but he was like, screw it, I'm doing it. He cashed out his 401k. He moves to Nashville. Luckily, we get to live rent-free in my brother's house. Josh is never there. Josh has this Pro Tools studio up there that's just wide open.
Which Dave either
lo and behold, Dave had a minor working knowledge. Now Dave's a producer.
He's
unbelievable. And so anyway, so we start making some songs. So we do some solo stuff. It's a little bit more pop driven. And then all of a sudden we were like, well, maybe we want to be songwriters. So I started writing some country stuff. And I was like, now this is where my voice went from Adam Levine down into Greg Allman again.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is me. Like this feels good. Like this is where my voice needs to fit. Yeah. And so anyways, we started doing that. And around this time, I had gone out to a little bar in Nashville, and Hillary was popping up and down singing with this cover band. And I was like, you're really good. And she was like, hey, I've heard some of your music. Like, I'm a fan of your brother, Josh. She's like, I went to his top friends and like, I'm listening to your stuff. Actually, I think you're really good. And I was like, oh man. I was like, dude, this girl's hot. Like, and I was like, hey, why don't we write some songs? Thinking maybe she's good, maybe she's not. And that night I went home and got on MySpace, and I didn't realize she had already had professional, well done songs.
Demos, yeah.
She had 2 songs on there that ended up being on our first record. One of them was Long Gone, and the other one it might've been I Was Here or something. And I was like, Dave and I looked at each other. I was like, this girl's the real deal. And I said, all right, she's going to come over in a week and we're going to try to write a single for her. And she walks in. We didn't even say hello, hardly. It was like, hey, check this out. Walks in, Dave's on the piano, and she gets the second line like that. And I'm like, whoa. So anyways, we do this. We record a version up on Josh's rig with just Hillary singing. And all along, I've been singing along with the song with her. And she goes, this needs to be a duet. I was like, really? All right, let's do it. So we did a duet version. And about a couple months later, I started playing that song, another song we wrote. And then I don't think we'd written Love Don't Live Here yet, but I kind of called her up and I said, man, I've got this crazy idea. I said, let's just start a band. Sometime later, we wrote Love Don't Live Here. And that was when I was like, that's the sound. It just all started happening. We driving by these Antebellum homes. I was like, Antebellum, that's a cool name, Lady Antebellum. And just like it all kind of happened. And we started doing these little shows at 3rd and Lindsley. The first show we ever did was Open Up for My Brother. First song we ever sang was Love Don't Live Here as a group on stage. The ace in the hole we had was Victoria Shaw had all these people in town that she knew. So she would call up a couple of her friends. You got to check this band out. Next thing you know, they'd call up a couple of friends. And by our 4th or 5th show, I mean, only 4 or 5 shows into this thing, we had labels in there. And it was absolutely insane. It all happened so fast once it kind of went. You know, for me, it was, you know, I've been there now for probably a year or so in Nashville. It didn't happen fast enough for me, but once it started happening,